Hey there, fellow story seekers, and welcome back to Tell Me More Stories Told as podcast, where we unravel the captivating threads of extraordinary lives.
Yeah.
Today, we're turning our spotlight onto a figure who's been both celebrated and scrutinized, adored, and misunderstood, the enigmatic Megan Fox.
You know what always strikes me about her is this intriguing paradox.
Okay.
She's often presented as this ultimate sex symbol, yet she's also incredibly outspoken, unafraid to challenge conventions and even bite the hand that feeds Hollywood.
Okay, so we've got a rebel with a cause, huh? But let's rewind a bit.
Yeah.
Where does this story begin?
Well, her journey starts far from the glitz and glamour of Hollywood in Oak Ridge, Tennessee, where she was born in 1986.
Okay.
And her early life was steeped in a strict Pentecostal upbringing.
Wow.
Talk about a contrast with her later image.
Right.
Later, her family moved to Florida, where she spent 12 years in Catholic school.
Whoa, that's a pretty intense foundation.
Yeah,
Did this upbringing shape her worldview, do you think?
absolutely. It definitely laid the groundwork for her strong sense of individuality and her willingness to question authority.
Okay.
But even amidst this conservative environment, her artistic spark ignited early on. We're talking dance and drama classes at the tender age of 5.
Wow.
And by 13, she was already modeling after winning awards at a talent convention.
Wow, she was clearly a driven young lady.
Driven indeed.
Yeah.
And her ambition led her to make a bold move at 17.
Uh-huh.
She tested out of high school to pursue acting in Los Angeles, trading textbooks for Hollywood.
Right.
That's a leap of faith.
Talk about going all in on your dreams.
Yeah.
This early ambition definitely foreshadows her fearlessness later on.
Yeah.
But before we get to Hollywood, let's talk about her experiences with bullying in middle school.
Right.
She's been quite open about this, which I think is important.
It is. You know, her experiences with bullying seem to have solidified her outsider status.
Right.
And fueled her desire to break free from conventional molds.
Yeah.
And she's spoken about feeling disconnected from traditional schooling,
Okay.
finding it irrelevant to her aspirations.
It's almost as if she was destined to create her own path.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what she did. Starting with smaller roles in films like Holiday in the Sun. By the way, did you know she was an uncredited extra in Bad Boys 2?
I did not know that, no.
She steadily built up her resume.
That's right. From those early roles, she landed her breakthrough performance in 2007,
Okay.
the one that catapulted her to superstardom.
Ah, yes. Transformers.
Yes.
Her portrayal of Michaela Baines, Sheila Booth's love interest,
Right.
made her a global sensation practically overnight. It was pure blockbuster magic.
And with that magic came instant recognition. MTV Movie Award nominations, Teen Choice Awards.
Ah.
She was everywhere.
Yeah, but things weren't always smooth sailing behind the scenes. There was controversy around Michael Bay's direction, particularly regarding her wait for the sequel.
It's interesting how those behind-the-scenes dynamics can sometimes overshadow the actual creative process, isn't it?
And then, of course, there's the infamous Hitler comment that ultimately led to her departure from the franchise.
Right.
Comparing Bay's directing style to Hitler, that's a pretty bold statement, even for Megan Fox.
It certainly is. And it highlights this fascinating tension between her desire to speak her truth and the potential consequences of doing so in a system that often seeks to control its stars.
It's like a tug-of-war between individuality and conformity.
Right.
But despite the drama surrounding Transformers, she continued to explore diverse roles.
Yeah.
For instance, in 2009, she starred in the horror comedy Jennifer's Body, written by the brilliant Diablo Cody.
Jennifer's Body is fascinating because it initially received mixed reviews but has since gained a cult following and is now hailed as a feminist classic. This reassessment speaks volumes about the evolving cultural landscape and how we interpret films through different lenses over time.
It's a testament to the power of re-examination and how perspectives can shift. But what's really interesting is that in the same year, she went from battling demonic forces in Jennifer's Body to starring alongside Josh Brolin in the Western superhero flick Jonah Hex.
Wow!
Talk about range.
Exactly. She even described her role in Jonah Hex as a cameo, despite receiving top billing.
Wow.
It speaks volumes about her willingness to experiment, to try new things, even if they don't always become blockbusters.
Right.
Unfortunately, Jonah Hex wasn't a box office success.
It seems like she's always been driven by the creative challenge rather than just chasing commercial success.
And that's what makes her career so compelling. She's not afraid to take risks, to push boundaries, and defy expectations.
Before we move on to our other roles, I just want to remind our listeners to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on more fascinating stories here on Tell Me More. Now, where were we? Ah, yes, Megan Fox in 2010.
Okay.
Let's not forget her appearance in Eminem and Rihanna's music video for Love the Way You Lie, alongside Dominic Monaghan.
That appearance speaks to her star power at the time. She was highly sought after, not just for film roles, but for high-profile projects like that music video.
And she continued to dabble in comedy, appearing in Sacha Baron Cohen's The Dictator and Judd Apatow's This Is 40, both in 2012. She even lent her voice to the animated comedy Robot Chicken DC Comics special, voicing Lois Lane.
Wow.
It's always refreshing to see actors embrace roles outside their usual comfort zones.
Absolutely. And speaking of unexpected moves, remember that Brazilian television commercial for Brahma beer in 2013?
Oh, right. It was quite a memorable campaign.
Yeah.
It's interesting to see how she navigates these seemingly disparate projects, from blockbuster films to voice acting to commercials.
It suggests a certain level of self-awareness and a willingness to play with her image.
And speaking of image, 2013 also marked a turning point in her relationship with Michael Bay.
Okay.
They set aside their differences and collaborated again on the 2014 reboot of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
That's right. She took on the iconic role of April O'Neil, proving that bridges can be mended, even in Hollywood. It was a reunion that surprised many, given their past conflicts.
It goes to show that people can evolve and relationships can be rebuilt. She even reprised her role as April in the sequel, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Out of the Shadows, in 2016. But before that sequel hit theaters, she stepped into the world of video games, lending her voice to the Plarium game Stormfall, Rise of Balur in 2015.
It seems like she's constantly exploring different mediums, pushing the boundaries of her craft. And let's not forget her stint on the hit sitcom New Girl, filling in for Zooey Deschanel.
Ah, yes, her portrayal of Reagan Lucas was brilliant.
Yeah.
She brought a whole new dynamic to the show, earning praise from both critics and fans.
And in 2018, she took a leap into Korean cinema, starring alongside Kim Young-min in the Korean war film The Battle of Jangsari.
Wow.
This move demonstrates her global appeal and her desire to embrace diverse storytelling traditions.
It's as if she's constantly seeking out new challenges, new experiences, and new ways to express her artistry.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And in 1919, she starred in the mystery fantasy film Above the Shadows
Okay.
and appeared in James Franco's Zeroville, a film shot back in 2014 but released 5 years later.
Zeroville may not have been a critical darling, but it further showcases her commitment to working with different directors and exploring a variety of projects. Her career seems to be driven by a thirst for creative exploration.
That's a great observation. And it's this adventurous spirit that makes her so intriguing. But her journey off-screen is just as captivating as her on-screen presence.
Absolutely. We've only just scratched the surface of her story. Stay tuned, folks, because in the next part of our deep dive, we'll delve into the complexities of her public image, the sex symbol label that's followed her, and the nuances of her personal life, including her relationships and her openness about her mental health journey.
It's a reminder that behind the Hollywood facade, there's a multifaceted individual with vulnerabilities, triumphs, and a story that continues to unfold. Welcome back to Tell Me More.
Now, before we delved into her filmography,
Yeah.
we talked about her rebellious streak.
Right. That willingness to challenge norms,
Yeah.
that really comes into play when you look at how she's handled her public image, right?
Absolutely. You can't talk about Megan Fox without addressing the sex symbol label that's been attached to her throughout her career.
Right.
It's a label she's both embraced and grappled with.
It's such a tricky tightrope to walk.
Yeah.
On one hand, she's owned her sexuality and used it to her advantage.
Right.
But on the other, she's actively pursued roles that go beyond that image, showing she's more than just a pretty face.
Exactly. And the constant comparisons to Angelina Jolie further muddy the waters.
Right.
Being dubbed the next Angelina Jolie
Meh.
pigeonholes her,
Yeah.
whether intentionally or not.
I remember she addressed those comparisons head on, didn't she?
She did. She pointed out that those comparisons often stem from surface-level similarities.
Okay.
Being brunette, having tattoos, and being open about sexuality. She saw it as a lack of imagination on the media's part. It's like they were trying to fit her into a pre-existing mold instead of appreciating her as an individual.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And that's the struggle many women in Hollywood face,
Right.
especially those deemed conventionally attractive.
Right.
Their talent and depth can be overshadowed by the focus on their looks.
It's a constant battle for recognition beyond the superficial.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just the Jolie comparisons that have fueled the fire.
Right.
Fox has made some eyebrow-raising comments over the years that solidified her wild child image.
Right. Those comments, coupled with her striking looks and provocative roles, created a media frenzy around her in the late 2000s.
Yeah.
Remember that infamous GQ interview where she compared working with Michael Bay to working for Hitler?
Oh, how could we forget?
Yeah.
That was a pivotal moment in her career and public perception. It led to backlash from some in the industry and sparked conversations about how women in Hollywood are treated.
It's a prime example of how a single offhand remark,
Right.
regardless of intent,
Yeah.
can have a ripple effect.
Yeah.
This level of scrutiny and overexposure ultimately led her to step back from the limelight after 2010.
It seems like the constant attention took a toll. She's even admitted to regretting how she handled some of that early fame, feeling like she contributed to the media, turning her into a caricature.
It's a common sentiment for those who experience sudden and overwhelming fame. It's easy to lose sight of oneself amidst all the projections from the outside world.
It's like she became trapped by her own image.
Right.
But she's continued to work consistently, even when she wasn't making headlines.
That's a testament to her resilience and her passion for her craft.
Right.
She's not chasing fleeting fame, but rather pursuing artistic fulfillment.
And let's not forget her personal life.
Mhm.
She's been incredibly candid about her struggles with obsessive-compulsive disorder, insecurities, and self-esteem issues.
Her willingness to be vulnerable about these personal challenges is truly commendable.
Yeah.
It helps destigmatize mental health issues and shows that even those in the public eye face these very real struggles.
It's a powerful reminder that we're all human, regardless of our profession or level of fame. And her relationship with Brian Austin Green is a whole other chapter in her story.
Yeah.
They met on the set of Hope and Faith back in 2004 when she was 18 and he was 30.
Their relationship faced a lot of scrutiny due to the age gap.
Yeah.
They got engaged, called it off, got back together, married, had 3 sons, filed for divorce, reconciled, and then ultimately finalized their divorce in 2021.
Oh, wow.
It was quite a roller coaster.
And throughout it all, they seemed committed to co-parenting their children.
Yeah.
Then there's her current relationship with Machine Gun Kelly, which has been, shall we say, unconventional.
Right.
They got engaged in 2022
Yeah.
and even released a video of her drinking his blood.
It's safe to say they do things their own way.
Yeah.
And her openness about her bisexuality further challenges societal expectations.
She's clearly not afraid to defy norms and live authentically. But her personal life isn't just about relationships. She's also a dedicated philanthropist. Did you know she's funded the creation of multiple water wells through Generosity Water?
That's right. It speaks to her empathy and her desire to make a positive impact beyond Hollywood.
So we have this image of a rebel, a sex symbol.
Yeah.
But she's also a complex individual who's navigating personal challenges, raising a family, and giving back to the world.
Exactly. And that multifaceted nature is what makes her so fascinating to explore.
Before we jump into the more recent chapters of her story, I want to remind everyone to subscribe to Tell Me More Stories Told as podcast,
Yes.
so you don't miss out on future deep dives into captivating lives.
We've got plenty more stories to unravel, so make sure you're along for the ride.
Welcome back to Tell Me More. It's amazing how Megan Fox's story keeps unfolding, even after all these years. It feels like she's constantly reinventing herself.
That's what I find so captivating about her. She doesn't shy away from taking risks, whether it's in her career choices or her personal life.
Right.
And that fearlessness keeps us all guessing what she'll do next.
Speaking of next, let's talk about her recent projects.
Okay.
In 2020, she starred in 2 films that couldn't be more different. The family comedy Think Like a Dog and the action thriller Rogue.
That move from heartwarming family fun to intense action sequences really highlights her versatility as an actress.
Right.
And in 2021, she continued to delve into the thriller genre with Till Death and Midnight in the Switchgrass, where she shared the screen with Bruce Willis.
And let's not forget the fans who were eagerly awaiting another collaboration with Machine Gun Kelly.
Right.
They got their wish with the 2022 musical drama Taurus.
It seems like she's drawn to projects that challenge her and push her creative boundaries.
Yeah.
And she hasn't abandoned her comedic side either.
Right.
Remember her appearance in Good Morning, also in 2022, alongside Machine Gun Kelly and Pete Davidson.
Oh, yes. That was a fun one. And in 2023, she took on the role of Alana Hart in the crime thriller Johnny and Clyde, sharing the screen with Tyson Ritter.
And who could forget her appearance in Expendables, the 4th installment in the high-octane Expendables franchise. Talk about action-packed.
Right.
She even lent her voice to the character of Nitara in the video game Mortal Kombat 1.
It's like she's determined to conquer every medium. But perhaps the most surprising turn in her career was the release of her poetry collection, Pretty Boys Are Poisonous, in 2023.
Huh.
Talk about a creative evolution from action star to published poet.
It really underscores her multifaceted nature. She's not just an actress, she's a true artist who expresses herself in diverse and unexpected ways.
It's truly inspiring to see someone break free from expectations and forge their own path. And throughout it all, she's remained true to herself, never shying away from speaking her mind or challenging societal norms.
Megan Fox's story is a reminder that we don't have to be confined by labels or expectations. We can embrace our complexities, our contradictions, and our ever-evolving selves.
She's a shining example of what it means to live authentically, to take risks, and to never stop exploring new horizons. So, as we wrap up this deep dive, what can we take away from Megan Fox's journey? What resonates with you?
For me, it's a reminder that there's always more than meets the eye. Whether it's a celebrity, a historical figure, or even someone we encounter in our daily lives, everyone has a story waiting to be uncovered.
Yes.
And those stories often hold surprising depths and unexpected twists.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
We could all benefit from approaching the world with a sense of curiosity, from seeking out the hidden layers beneath the surface. And who knows? We might even discover a bit of ourselves along the way. Thanks for joining us on this adventure into the captivating world of Megan Fox.
Yes.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep those stories coming.
And remember, there's always more to tell, more to learn, and more to share on Tell Me More Stories Told This podcast.